Hey guys, Theoden here. Today we're going to be talking about my experience with the future. Yes, you heard me. My experience with the future. First of all, guys, I haven't told anyone about this. Like, nobody knows about this at all. Like, I haven't mentioned it to a single human. Because, as you can tell from the title of the video, it's kind of weird. And I'm going to say some things that are going to be really creepy. Like, really, absolutely out of sorts. So, you're going to have to bear with me. I wouldn't make this video if I hadn't had this experience, and I wouldn't. I don't even like doing this type of stuff. So, but I feel like I should make this video because this experience happened to me, and I think I saw some things in the future that are quite disturbing, and that I think that I should tell people what I saw. And the reason I'm making this video is because, first of all, I saw the some things have been happening lately that are lining up exactly with what I saw in the future. And to be honest, when I first had this experience, I wrote it off as me just being crazy. Like my mind just ran away with me. That's what I thought. But as time is going on and as things are progressing, I am seeing some strikingly similar things happening and lining up with what I saw in the future. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this video. Disclaimer, guys: there are some things that are gonna happen in the very near future that are less than savory. So stick around, and I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you what I saw. I'll tell you all about it. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Please don't label me as that. I'm not. I'm not crazy. And again, don't want to talk about this. I wouldn't talk about it, but I feel like I have to because honestly, when I saw this most recent thing was the thing about the unidentified flying object in Las Vegas. When that happened, I was like, okay, I need to make this video because there's too many things happening that happened in the future that happened in the future. This experience, so I need to go ahead and make this video. So I'm doing it now. Let's get started. So it started out. I have some things written down just so that I don't forget. Here, it started out. I woke up. I woke up and thought it was a I thought it was an average day. I was like, oh, it's an average day. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go do my thing. I made a cup of coffee, as I always do every morning. And it felt absolutely real. It felt genuine. So I made myself a cup of coffee and I went outside. And I noticed that, wait a second, the sky looks different. Like the sky looks different, and the world feels a bit different. And I was like, okay. So I noticed that. That was the first thing that I actually noticed is that okay, things feel different around here. Like what's going on? I thought perhaps okay, maybe there's a storm rolling in or something, but let's not overcomplicate this. So I went inside, made breakfast. I remember what I made. I remember what the thing I ate. I had toast and two boiled eggs, and I noticed that my eggs are low. So I went to the store. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I don't remember everything. So I'm gonna skip and just say major things that I recall and major things that happened. So I'm not gonna like tell exactly dot. I'm just gonna say things that happened and tell what things like that. So that's how this video is gonna go. Sorry if I bore you, but anyway, let's continue. I went to the store and when I was driving there I noticed that I passed like two cars broken down on the side of the road, which is abnormal for where I live. And I noticed that the traffic was a bit slow. Like there weren't a lot of cars on the road at all, and the cars that I did see were kind of driving recklessly. I went to the store and when I got there, I noticed that there were a bunch of cars outside, a bunch of people parked outside. And guys, I'm tired, so sorry if I'm acting weird, but I am really tired. But I noticed that there were a bunch of cars outside, and so I went to the front of the store and there were people outside. People were just outside waiting in a line to go in the store. And I was like, okay, what is going on here? There are people outside waiting in a line to go into the store. Oh, sorry. There are people waiting in a line to go into the store. Why? So I just walked in the store. Nobody stopped me or anything, but I just walked in the store, which is surprising. And I went and I got my eggs, and I realized that people looked very panicked. They looked very scared. in the store. People looked very alarmed, not scared per se, but alarmed. There was a sense of alarm in the air, and so I went and I asked one of the employees. I went to one of the employees and I asked her, like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? I don't understand what's happening. And by the way, guys, at this time I had no idea that I was in the future. I had no idea at this moment that I was in the future. But the girl said that people are afraid of the visitors. This is the word she said. People are afraid of the visitors, and we need to know, like the store managers and things need to know how many people are in the store at any given time. So that was the two things she said. People are afraid of the visitors, and they need to know how many people are in the store at a time. Remember, she said that because that's going to be very important with one of the things I have to say, with one of the things I want to bring back around. Guys, if this video gets taken down, then you know I was saying something right. Like, if this video is like just disappears, if it starts getting views and it just disappears, then you know I was saying something right. So just keep that in mind. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm not into any of this type of stuff. But this experience was something that I feel I should say. So yeah, just throwing that out there. So I found that weird that she said visitors and people. They needed to know how many people were in the store. That was so I left, went back home, got an article on my phone. At one point, I got an article on my phone. That, by the way, did I mention that I had this experience early 2022? So this happened in 2022. This experience happened in 2022. Anyway, I got a notification on my phone about an article about the Queen of England and just like what she was into, all her stuff, this and that, la da da da. And in one of the article, in a part of the article, it mentioned her death date. I was like, wait, what? The Queen of England's not dead. Why are they putting a death date in here? And the date, I looked at the date and it was like, it was either November. I can't exactly remember. It was November, September. It was one of the Burr months. It was one of the Burr months that end with Burr, and it was the 8th of that Burr month, 2022. That's what her death date was. I was like, what? Like, the Queen of England is not dead. So I looked it up, and she was dead. Like, she was dead. I was like, wait, where am I? And then I tried to Google the date. Like, my phone for some reason didn't have the date. Okay, you know how your phone like has the date on top? You can look at your date. My phone didn't have that for some reason. And when I tried to look up the date, it just didn't give a date. It was just like, I forget what it said. It said something like relevant time. The time that they were using said relevant. That the phone was using said relevant time. It didn't have like a time date on it. So I thought that was very 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 weird. Um. So I'm gonna skip and move on to some points that I think are very important that people need to know. And first, I'm gonna say why I know I was in the future, and why I made this video. Why the reasons why I made the reasons how I knew I was in the future is because these things have come to pass. One, the Queen of England's death. She wasn't dead when I had the experience, but she was dead in the experience. She wasn't dead when I had the experience. She was dead in the experience. Another thing is, at one point, there was a bunch of smoke over New York. Orange smoke over New York. Really. This really happened, guys. I'm telling you. I'm not crazy, but this really happened. There was a bunch of orange smoke over New York, and the Canada wildfires were raging. Like, they had been going for quite some time. They're still raging. Sorry, I'm tired if I'm running over my words, but again, I'm gonna go ahead and make this video. Yes, the Canadian fires were raging. Here's a very poignant thing that hasn't happened yet, but I think is going to happen. I know it's gonna happen because it happened in the future. I was there. I saw it. I saw it with my own two eyes. New York is gonna be hit by a tidal wave, guys. New York is gonna get hit by a disaster. Maybe it's not a tidal wave, but in my vision, in my experience, it was a tidal wave. New York was destroyed by New York City was hit by a tidal wave and knocked off the map. Yes, you had me. Um, and it was, I forget when. Like, for some reason, I didn't have dates in this stream, in this experience. I didn't have dates, but yeah. Uh Another thing to look out for that happened in this experience is that Russia, the war between Russia and Ukraine escalates. Like, it gets really bad, like really bad. China gets involved, the U.S. gets involved, and it's pretty much just World War Three. It's pretty much, I don't know if they ever called it World War Three in the experience in the future. I don't know if it was ever called World War Three, but it gets pretty bad, and yeah, and at one point, somebody, I don't know who, I never got the information in the future. No one ever said. It was never clear on which one, but it was either Russia or China. It never got cleared out which one it was. Sent off a bomb, I guess is the best word to explain it, and it disrupted the sea. It did something to the sea, and that's what caused the tidal wave to New York. That's what caused New York to be destroyed. Is that they messed with the sea and a tidal wave rose up. And remember, guys, if this video gets taken down, you know I was onto something. Um, yeah. Now here's the real thing that everyone needs to be looking out for. Guys, I really feel bad because this is not what I wanted to be known for. Oh, I'll get to that later. Anyway, there's gonna be an alien invasion in the future. There's an alien invasion. It comes from, I don't know where it comes from, but there were aliens in this futuristic experience, and it made sense because that is why they weren't allowing everyone to be in the store. That is why there could only be a certain amount of people in the store at one time. It all made sense. There was an alien invasion. People, a lot of people die. Like, a lot of people die. And yeah, the U.S. comes together. China and the U.S. are like the leading. Well, not really, but the U.S. is like, they become buddy with China, Russia. All these people, they kind of put aside their differences, like, and they form like a one, just one government, like one party to fight to combat the aliens. And yeah, that's what it goes on, and they it becomes a little bit scary. It became a little bit scary. It was scary in my futuristic experience. The world was a bit scary. Things were a bit scary. But it was what it was. And as time went on in this experience, as time went on, things got scarier. The world got darker. Things were just not the same, and they only got worse. At one point, I forgot to mention, at one point, there is a EMP, and it knocks out all communication. Like, it knocks out all communication. Another thing, guys, I'm not exactly sure what I can't give timelines, but I know it was in the recent future, in the near future, because I pay close attention to vehicles. Like, I'm always looking at cars, looking at vehicles, and I noticed that the cars were all relatively the same as the cars driving around today. Like, even the models were the same year make models as they are today. Granted, there were some that were new. There were some new models that I hadn't seen yet that aren't out yet. Just I saw a few that weren't out yet. That I recognize as, okay, see, that's a Ford Explorer over there, but it's a newer design. But the cars relatively were the same, so that means it was in the near future. And I didn't look much older. Like, I looked relatively the same. No, he looked relatively the same. So yeah, that's how I know it was in the near future. Oh, I did see one sign. I did see one sign that said something about 2024. Something it had to do with 2024. It said something about 2024. I just remember that was on there. Again, my phone wasn't giving any dates. My phone didn't have a date on it or anything for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah. So that's pretty much it. Let me see if I got everything. There were a few things I wanted to touch on. Got the alien invasion. Um, the queen was dead. I mentioned that the queen dies, and if I made this video earlier, then maybe I'd be more believable because I would have said that hey, the queen's gonna die and all that stuff. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the most major events. So guys, look out for that. Look out for the wave, tidal wave, and a few other things. Also, there's gonna be in the future there was more diseases. I think it was mentioned somewhere. I got the feeling, I got the vibe that the visitors that the visitors had released something and it was toxic to humans. Like they're humans, they were toxic to humans. Also, I think that some of the visitors could like disguise themselves as humans, so you weren't really sure if it was a visitor or a human. Anyway, yeah, that was that. So how I got back from the future is I woke up. I just woke up. I went to bed. I remember I went to bed. I remember this. I went to bed and I was feeling so depressed. I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? What is this? Like, where am I living? What reality is this? This is terrible. I don't want to be here. Aliens. The New York is destroyed. There's been earthquakes, all this stuff. And I just went to bed. I just like I'm just gonna forget this. I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm just gonna forget this stuff. I'm just not gonna deal with it. I went to bed. I woke up and I was like, here we go again. But I felt much more awake. I felt much more like I had slept. I felt like I had slept. I got out of bed, checked my phone. My phone had the date and time again, and it was so I think it was some early month in 2022. I believe it was maybe around March, April, somewhere around there. But the date itself was the ninth. It was about the ninth. So, yeah, you just read the stuff, man. You can't write the stuff. And again, guys, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. I'm not crazy. I don't want to talk about this. If you guys watch my ASMR channel, I'm so sorry for creeping you out, but, you know, it is what it is. I had to say it. Remember, guys, if this video gets taken down, remember what I said. Let me make sure I got everything before I turn this camera off and go to bed. Did I mention that how I got out of the future was that I woke up? I just woke up and I wasn't there anymore. I just woke up and I knew that I wasn't in the future anymore. I knew that I was back in my own timeline, and I was so happy. Like I was very happy to be back in my own timeline. Really, guys, really though, that was a very creepy experience. Like that was a very, very weird experience. I hope no one has experienced anything like that before. But if any of you guys are watching and you have experienced that before, let me know. Please let me know because I need to know. I need to know if anyone else has had this sort of experiences. I've had dreams before. I've had visions even. This was not that. This is not a dream. This is not a vision. This was something else. This is like I was there. It was real. I was there. I could touch things. I pinched myself several times and I didn't wake up. I could really feel the pain. Every time I pinched myself, I felt the pain of it. So yeah. Crazy experience. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please share this video. Please share this video. Please share this video. Let people know. Let people know what's gonna happen. Let people know what's on the horizon. Because I truly believe that's what's gonna happen. I was there. I witnessed it. Things are happening now that hadn't happened yet. Things are happening now that in my vision had already happened. So what else am I supposed to say? Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.